Hi, I'm William Butler. I'm exhibiting here at the Galesburg Art Center, and I just want to tell you a little bit about what I've got here. This is a piece called Pine, and I don't know necessarily what it's about. The way I start is to do little doodles. I doodle kind of absent-mindedly. I don't try to think too much about what I'm doing. And then from those little doodles, I will blow it up and often make a study, which is a stage to work out design problems, maybe think about color, things like that. And then from that, I will blow it even further. In this case here, make it as large as I can. And this is on MDF board, and it's painted with acrylic paints. And I don't necessarily know how it's going to turn out from the start, but I just kind of let it carry me down a path, and I just try to follow that and try to respond to the piece. And this is what I ended up with. I think when I put the word pine on there, it meant to me pining for something. It was a longing, and so that's really the only meaning I really have out of it. I think it's very compelling. It's a lot of different imagery on there, so a lot of the times people can find lots of different things that they can pick out and say, oh, I think this means that, or I like this part. And so I think it's the kind of pieces that people can find lots of interesting things in and find meaning in it for themselves. And I think that's just as valid for their meaning as much as my own. This one, when I first drew it as a doodle, I thought, well, this would work as a cutout probably. And so I started to think of it that way, although when I did my studies, I put a background in it because they were on canvas or on paper. But I thought, well, I don't really need that background. I could do without it. It could be effective on its own. So I'm always trying to think, well, what could I actually, how can I make it a cutout? Because that's the things I'm most excited about probably. For some time, when I was working in this series, I was always trying to figure out some three-dimensional component that would go along with the two-dimensional work, and I would try different things and try models and mess around with different three-dimensional forms, and I never found anything that I really was excited about until one day I just picked up some pieces in my studio that I'd cut out from other things. There was just pieces that were left over, and I was playing around with them, and then I just stuck three together, and I thought, wow, that's interesting. And I put a clamp on it, and I set it down on the table, and it stood up on its own, and I thought, well, that's just fascinating. I've never seen anything like that before. And so they were kind of paintings, but they were really flat. You see, they're just three boards put together. But the interesting thing about it is that each side can be totally different from the other side. There's little surprises that you'll see only on this side, and when you turn it around, it's actually like a different sculpture altogether. And there's always interesting little surprises like this little piece here coming down that you wouldn't be able to see from the other side. So I just really found it to be really exciting, and looking forward to doing more of those. This is a canvas I just recently finished. This is the first time it's been exhibited anywhere. And it was a canvas that has been sitting around the Contemporary Art Center for years. Somebody had started to paint on it, a student in the class that we have there at the Contemporary Art Center, and they never finished the piece. And so I tried to get her to take it home, and she never would come to get it. And so I decided to eventually say, well, I'll paint on it then. So I thought, well, this is a really bad idea because it's so big, what do you do with it after you're done? And it's hard to sell a big painting, but well, I've just got to do it. So really enjoyed doing this piece. This was one that really I felt needed a background. I wanted this central piece to look like it's being illuminated. The light is coming out from it, and the light is falling on the objects that are around it. This piece is called Navel Gazing, and so it's almost like his navel has become this living being almost that's coming out of his body, this figure here. And so he's thinking about maybe this thing isn't really real, maybe it's just his thoughts. And then these other objects are like moths to the flame. They're attracted to this light also, and so they're coming around and checking it out. So they're all navel gazing together. They're all looking at this giant apparatus that's somehow is coming out of this other being's body.